A country votes, a government is formed, and the nation continues to function as always. Democracy has always existed in India, even during the past 1 decade, even though the international media and observers kept suggesting otherwise, indulging in fear-mongering at a global scale and ignoring the sentiments on the ground. From the state assembly elections or to the parliament elections this time, people of India have always spoken their mind, sometimes for the Bharatiya Janata Party and sometimes for the Congress Party. So when I looked at the international media headlines now after the election results, are they breathing a sigh of relief because the BJP has won not with the expected majority? I say that because foreign press seemed to be facing jitters even before the results were announced, saying democracy is dead in India, questioning the electoral process, questioning the choice of Indians, basically expressing a distrust, a lack of confidence in Indian people and their decision to vote their leader. The Guardian editorial had said, even before results were announced, depressing to think that Modi is set to return for a third term. Why is an England-based news organization to document Indian sentiment was feeling depressed when Indians have taken a decision to vote their leader? Think about this for a second. Over 1 billion people, over 100 crore registered voters, multiple parties, diversity in terrain and political ideologies. 2-month-long almost of an election season and largely a smooth process. Compare that to the upheaval of elections in Pakistan or the one-party dictatorship in China. Both neighbor nations have that to say about elections, while India managed a smooth, democratic ballot elections. To me, democracy was thriving in India in 2004 when the BJP was defeated despite confidence and a Congress-led government was formed. Or in 2014 when Narendra Modi got a thumping majority by the Indians. Or in 2024 when Prime Minister Modi returns to the position for the third time and India bloc gets more members of parliament in the Lok Sabha. That is how India has always been. But the international media repeatedly did not want to mention how smooth and transparent this transition has been. Washington Post decided to focus on still just Modi and critical, not about the historic third term that no Prime Minister has got after Jawaharlal Nehru, but rebuke, setback, aura of invincibility is gone, it said. The fact is, these results should be the reality check to the international media about Indians in general and our democratic process. 1. Third term as the single largest party for the BJP, 240. Total National Democratic Alliance, 292. The Congress Party got about 99 seats. Total India Bloc Alliance got about 234. Plus the increase of seats for India Bloc means a strong opposition. So whether 2014 or 2024, Indian voter has always decided, year after year. But how did the international media decide beforehand? What is correct, what is good, and what is bad? Because their headlines continue to reflect what their perspective decided beforehand has always been. For example, the BBC thinks that the reasons for the sort of results that we have seen are inflation and unemployment. But for those who do know a diverse India will tell you that while these issues are very important and that the BJP will have to go back to the table on that, but when an Indian casts a vote, caste and religious equations, ideological and political loyalty, several dynamics are at play when that stamp is done. New York Times, again focusing only on Modi, said now he has coalition partners that do not share the same Hindu nationalist agenda. Do you mean the welfare schemes that benefited all communities, that benefited women across the spectrum irrespective of religious differences were Hindu nationalist agenda? The highways and the new airports that are being used by one and all are Hindu nationalist agenda simply. Germany's DW says, third term a setback to Prime Minister Modi. I mean, I would understand if he lost, that would be a setback for sure, but how is returning to power for the third time a setback? And lastly, The Economist, remember that earlier had said that India's economic illiberalism will bring its downfall at a time when India had a stable economy even during the COVID pandemic, now says it's a shock election result that humbles Narendra Modi. Are these preconceived notions coming to the fore? For example, the Time magazine said tyranny of majority even before the election results were announced. Will this be a tyranny this time where different parties have won different constituencies. The External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar had recently made an interesting point. He had said that I get a lot of these noises from the Western press, and if they criticize our democracy, he says it's not because of lack of information. It is because they possibly tend to think they are also political players in our election. It is this democracy, for good or for bad, where a pro-Khalistan face has also been chosen in Punjab by a huge margin, where the son of Ben Singh, one of the two bodyguards who assassinated former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, has also been elected in Punjab. Or this leader in Kashmir, currently in prison on terror funding charges, who has won. He threw beef parties in the official circuit house in 2015 simply to throw a message of power, and in a region where Hindus are now a minority in Kashmir. So democracy returns that is being thrown around are a subjective rhetoric, if you ask me. Because none of these controversial figures have found a mention in foreign coverage, has it? But all of this only proves one single fact again, that democracy in India is to open up to all individuals. Anyone can have that chance if they promise to work for the people, with the hope that they'll be willing to work for a stronger nation. BJP, Congress, any other party, independent candidates, as long as they all decide to contribute for a stable and a strong India. On that note of hope, thank you for watching.